Okay. So, this is a story from when Ollie was a kid. May even be his first mystery, or one of his first mysteries anyway. Now, suppose back in the sea, where Ollie was when he was young. But even then, he lived in a rather unusual household for an octopus because they had a proper kitchen with groceries. And one day, Ollie woke up, swam over to the kitchen, and he saw that there were no tomatoes. He often ate tomatoes in the morning. Well, that's all right. The next he looked, and there were no oranges either. And there were no bananas. And there were no apples. In fact, all the things that Ollie liked to start his day with, none of them were there. So he thought, all right, I got to go check in with my parents here, see what's going on. And he went to go look, and his mommy was sleeping, and his daddy was gone. And this is pretty weird. This is far outside of the normal of what Ollie, as a kid, would expect from his mornings in his household.
Can you see how dark it is?
It's getting dark, yeah.
It's dark, but it's dark.
It does look, you're right, it looks darker in the kitchen than over here. Maybe it is. Anyway, Elsa, down. Elsa, no. Stop what you're doing. Okay. So Ollie went to investigate. He thought, I've got to figure out what's going on here. Things are very different than what I'm used to, and I don't care for it. He thought about potentially, maybe, flopping down on the kitchen floor and having a tantrum. He considered that as an option. But he realized that that wouldn't necessarily help, and it would definitely make his mom have a bad morning, or at least a bad start to her morning. So he decided against that. So he looked around in the fridge. There he found more shocking situation. Because there was no milk. There was no yogurt. My goodness, the kitchen was bare.
There was water.
There was water, because he lives in the ocean, so plenty of water. But then he realized with his horror, what if? Oh no, what if? And he darted over to the cabinet and opened it up, and indeed, there was just one box of cereal, and when he shook it, it was nearly empty. What would he do? No dad, no fruit, no milk, no cereal. Woe is Ollie. Something was amiss. Something was afoot. There was trouble.
Ollie was full of yogurt.
Ollie was not full of yogurt. He had not had his breakfast at all yet. He swam around and went to go look. And he noticed that their car was gone too. I said they were an unusual octopus household, and I meant it. And they didn't have a regular, surface car. They had a special aquatic car, which only the fanciest octopus households had. But they were a pretty fancy octopus household. And the car was gone. Why were so many things gone? What on earth was happening in his house this morning? Well, Ollie had tried his hardest to not bother his mom, who was sleeping. But at this point, he had to know what was going on. So he went up to the bedroom where his mom slept and was sleeping, and swam gently up to her and nudged her. Nudge, nudge. She opened one sleepy eye and said, "Hey, Ollie, what's going on?" Ollie mustering all the calm that he could and said, "I noticed that Daddy is gone and there's no food. Is everything okay?" And her mom said, "Oh, it's all fine. Go back to bed. I'm going back to sleep for a while." And she fell back asleep. Now, Ollie believed his mom that everything was fine, but it didn't answer any of his questions. So he went back down to the kitchen to sit and to think. What could be the cause?
And he was hungry.
And he's hungry. he did find an old granola bar, and he ate that. And that helped him be hungry a little bit.
And he ate that.
And then he noticed something. He noticed that there was already coffee in the coffee pot. And it wasn't a full pot of coffee. There was about 1 cup missing.
I found a feather.
You found a feather, yeah. That's cool. And then Ollie started to put it together because he remembered that last night his uncle and his aunt were over and that they were still up chatting and hanging out when Ollie went to bed. He went and checked the guest bedroom, and indeed, there his aunt and his uncle were there, fast asleep too. And right as he was putting it all together, he heard the sounds of the car pulling up. He swam right outside to see, and indeed, there was Ollie's dad. 7 out of 8 arms were carrying bags of groceries, milk, cereal, apples, oranges, bananas, and a big box of muffins. Ollie swam up and said, "Hey, Dad, you're back. You were gone. I didn't know what was going on." His dad said, "Oh, hey, sport. Yeah, no worries. We didn't get a chance to get groceries last night, so I ran out this morning. I thought everybody was still asleep, but I guess you woke up. Lucky for you. It means you get first dibs on muffins." And so, they sat down at the kitchen table, just Ollie and his dad, eating muffins, Ollie's dad sipping a coffee. And they talked as the sun rose and as the rest of the household gently woke up. And that was Ollie and the case of the missing fruit.